Well, I don't. You took there. Whoa, wait. Oh, are we here? We're here. Hello.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. Hey guys, I am Trooper Steve with WKMG News 6, and I am currently joined with not only a friend of mine, but the sector commander for the Pine Hills area, Captain Ashley Strange with Orange County Sheriff's Office. Thanks for being here.
Happy to be here.
This
Thanks
is
for having
a
me.
good time. Thomas, can you mute your phone, please? Just thanks. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. You guys know as Thomas is on for the ride with us. Normally we do this stuff in the morning. I've had a crazy morning, but it's really cool to be out here middle of the day, driving around in the truck a little bit. So obviously you are the captain of this sector. Explain to me before we dive into a little bit of your history with the Sheriff's Office, what is a sector commander? What does that actually mean for people who have no idea about law enforcement?
So, the sector commander, I work in an area that's called Sector 1, which is basically the northwest portion of Orange County. So, 408 north, all the way up to Apopka, out west to Lake County, and roughly the John Young Parkway, 441 border. And we do have a little bit of Eatonville, Winter Park mixed in there as well, in the unincorporated areas. And so, I essentially am in charge of the men and women who patrol 24/7 in Sector 1.
So let's make that clear. Every single person, the buck stops with you before you move to a different command.
Correct, and they are the most incredible people. They are out here day and night, giving their all. They patrol this community. They love working here, and they truly get what it means to serve the community by not only fighting crime, but being a part of the story and the people that live and work here. And that's really the best part about commanding this.
I like how you said that because so many people are like, well, I don't see him doing this. I don't see cops doing that. Or it's like it's a multifaceted approach in order to reduce crime.
Absolutely.
And community policing does involve just hanging out at the park or just showing up at an event. And you guys are doing all of that.
All of it.
That's pretty cool. So total, how many members do you are command over?
Right now we have 154 people that work in Sector 1. So
Not 155, guys. 154 on the nose. That's I don't think most people understand that is bigger than most of some small municipality police departments.
It is, yes.
Which is kind of crazy because the area you cover is bigger than Winter Park, and it's just one sector that Orange County Sheriff's Office is ultimately responsible for.
Correct. Yes, we have 6 sectors, so 1 through 6. So this is all the Sector 1's all northwest Orange County.
So the northwest portion here. How long have you been in law enforcement?
18 years.
Listen, for you guys that don't know, 18 years and she's a captain, fast burner right there. Why law enforcement? Tell me the initial story there. That story everyone asks, why'd you become a cop? How did it start for you?
So I grew up in South Florida. My grandfather was a lieutenant in Miami.
Okay.
And so I grew up, hearing the stories and, going to the station with him and just understanding that passion and what it means to serve. And as I was going through school, 9/11 happened when I was a senior, so I'm aging myself a little bit. But that drive and that desire to just want to be a part of something bigger than myself, to give back to this country, that's really where that fire kind of started. And I moved up here, went to UCF, and got Go Knights, and I started in the criminal justice program, and a lot of our professors had some type of nexus to the sheriff's office.
Well, you guys, even today, you guys affiliate so much with UCF. That makes sense.
And so it was a cool opportunity to really just learn the tools of the trade from those professors. And I put in for the sheriff's office right after I graduated. I was sponsored to go to the academy, and that's really where it all began.
That's really cool.
So I've been able to move up the ranks. I've done every rank in patrol. I started as a young deputy on the midnight squad with some of my best friends.
What was your first area that you were patrolling?
So I worked, it was back in the day, it was called Zone 34, Zone 33. I worked in Pine Hills. I was one of the girls that worked on midnight shift back when I first started. And some of my favorite memories were being a part of that squad. And really my passion and true love for this community really started early on. Just being out here learning the tools of the trade and being a part of it was that was some of my best memories. And I also learned early on, to be there for the people, and just saying hi to kids, or the football players when they would be walking home from practice from Evans, and just saying, hey, good game, keep up the good work. It was always kind of a part of the game to me. And
that's really cool, just to be surrounded by it. Now I'm told we have an update. Do we want to switch over to the live view? Bam. Cooking with gas.
We're
We have all the other cameras now, and you have your own dedicated one right over here. A little dark right now, but we'll cruise around and stuff. But so finding that niche within a university, like how? Because you decided not to. You got your degree, and then you're like, I'm gonna go be a road deputy. Where did that? Because I could tell you, I applied to many, and you're not that old because you just dated yourself, and I'm there with you because you were a senior, I was a sophomore when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
So I remember this stuff, and it was the same thing for me. It was, wow, how can I go serve? I chose the military instead, but I had applied to everybody and their mom when civilian law enforcement presented itself, and I was really, really just genuinely trying to find the right home, and FHP showed up on my Air Force base for that application. I had applied to Orange County Sheriff's Office because I had done some ride-alongs with you guys as a younger kid. I think Lieutenant Max Maxwell, back in the aviation guy. Talk about the most professional, intimidating man I've ever met in my life. It was pretty scary hanging out with him.
I can see that.
But really cool, really just genuinely nice guy. And the bug got me there, and I'm just like, this is going to be a heck of an experience. So when you first became a deputy, where were you originally assigned?
So just kind of going back to the UCF part of that. So I had thought about going into the Army, and at that point in time, I did some ROTC, but I was really just more drawn. I wanted to have that opportunity to do things here, and to really get my feet dirty and be in the mix of things. And so I was like, you know what, let me try this. Let me try the Orange County Sheriff's Office because it really spoke to me. And I think everybody, growing up, I had that, wanted to be the secret agent, and Clarice Starling and FBI.
Right.
You have those people that kind of always stand out. But I think at that point,
Carmen Sandiego kind of stuff.
When I really started getting down to brass tacks and evaluating those things, I loved working here, and I think you maybe think law enforcement might be a stepping stone, but when the further that you get into it, the more I experienced with this agency, I knew that this was going to be home. And
because you guys are full service. I don't think most people grasp how much, because I say whatever job is in the civilian world, there's almost an equivalent in a law enforcement agency.
Absolutely.
So if you're an administrator or you really like logistics and stuff, there's a place for you within a police department.
And I really think that everybody has their niche thing, and I oddly was, fun fact, was a little drama kid growing up. I had this thing that I just really wanted to work in undercover narcotics. Because you kind of have to play this role.
I like this.
And I was like, I want to walk the streets of OBT. I want to I obviously led a very quiet life, obviously a good kid, so never really experienced that side of things. So I had to learn all of those behaviors and learn what it meant to be convincing. And so I wanted to work in undercover
wish I had
narcotics.
some photos to throw up
they were good.
from the
some
early on
there,
stuff. That would have been good.
I wanted to have that experience, and then really as I grew, just going through different things in the agency, I knew that I wanted to stay here, and I said, if I'm going to stay here, I want to go as far as I can go.
Amen.
And so
here you are, 18 years as a captain. So did you
I've
ever
been
think?
Very blessed in that regard, and I was promoted with the former sheriff, Mayor Demings.
Yep.
He took an invested interest in me, and then our current sheriff, Sheriff Mina, I was able to work for him as his staff director.
Well, that's how I met you, through the Cops Foundation, and you being kind of his right-hand woman to make sure that everything was always in order. And it's like, you getting there wasn't by accident. You got to want it. You got to make strategic decisions in your career to do that. So now that you're the commander out here, which is a huge deal, talk to me a little bit about how you've seen this area kind of grow, the Pine Hills area. And I want to be transparent. Like, people sometimes refer, I have friends that live out in this area, but it's always like negative. I'm not saying from law enforcement, but people always, oh, Pine Hills this, it's like, look, everything is what you make of it. And
Absolutely.
I have friends that live out here. I patrolled this area too. We call it Patrol Zone 3 with the Highway Patrol. And it's like, you can pull off anywhere and you're still going to meet some of the nicest people you've ever met. This is still a thriving community. But talk to me a little bit about what it's like been policing this Pine Hills community from an early on age to now commanding this area, and what has really changed that you've seen.
So I will say that overall, I think that there's this desire to take their community back. They don't want to be under this idea of crime hills, and the people that run this community and the ones that are the most involved, they live here, they've grown up here, and they want to take it back, and they want to make this an economic boom town, and they want it to be a great place to work, live, and play.
Right.
And it absolutely has all that potential. And there's so much diversity here, and I think that's one of the most beautiful parts about it. But I have never seen a community rally better than the community of Pine Hills. And when they want something, they go full force.
They get it done.
And when I tell you, they go out, they use and leverage all of these community partnerships. Women and the men that serve with the Pine Hills Community Council and our neighborhood improvement districts, there's always a project, and they're not thinking right now, they're thinking 10, 20, 30 years from now. And so the things that are in place now, or the things that are changes that you're seeing happen, have already been discussed 10 years prior.
And they're just making it happen.
They're making it happen. They are concerned on every level, from not just public safety, but how do they make this more aesthetically pleasing? How do they get more people to want to have businesses here? And they work really closely with us. And
I was just about to ask that, like, for a community that wants, and they are knowledgeable that there has been an existing problem and they want to, do you guys have liaisons throughout Pine Hills that are always you're in contact, you're checking up on them? Hey, where are the problems that we can't see but you know about, type of situation?
So one of the things that was implemented roughly in 2017 was the community-oriented policing squad, which was just one first step into addressing a greater problem. And they had a multifaceted approach to really look at that community engagement piece as well as the crime-fighting piece, and how do you meld those together?
Interesting.
Because it's really nothing for these guys. They might go to the Halloween candy giveaway event, but then go chase bad guys or a stolen car 20 minutes after they're done with that. So they really truly get that from a holistic standpoint, that you have to be great at both pieces. They have to be able to trust you, and they have to have faith that you're going to do the hard things when it comes down to brass tacks.
Do you think that has helped change policing on the agency side a little bit? Because I think some of us, we get out there and it's like, well, I'm not a shake hands, kiss baby guy, so I'm not going to the community event. I'm a crime fighter. And it's like, well, policing has changed, and it's not saying you just have to do this, but it's another tool to the toolbox. You're learning. As my opinion, and you correct me if you think I'm totally crazy, but it's like, yes, you could have an undercover deputy that's been doing it forever, but when they're able to interact with the community that they're protecting, it's just not constant inundation of just bad stuff all the time. They see that, wow, these kids actually appreciate that I'm here, or I don't need to be hard as a rock all the time and being this cold cop. It's like, no, this community is your community too.
Right. And you hit the nail on the head. And essentially, there's always an opportunity for community engagement. It doesn't have to be this elaborate event.
Right.
This is, hey, this
you guys
is,
do have some cool
I
stuff.
Go,
You guys
I'll
have some
give
cool
you that.
stuff.
We do have some fantastic things. But there doesn't have to be an elaborate action. It's as simple as knowing the name of the person where you go and get coffee and talking to the gas station attendant.
Right. The owner of the small businesses.
Owner of the business. And there's always an opportunity for one positive interaction every day. And so when you're surrounded and going to the worst thing that you're going and responding to the worst day that these people have ever encountered.
Right.
So at some point, and to just keep your own humanity about it, it's okay to say hi to the kid riding by on their bike.
Right.
And that doesn't necessarily necessarily require some exceptional effort.
Or you don't need to call the sergeant and be like, hey, can you bring the tent out because we want to
Right.
throw the ball?
We don't
No.
have to be crazy about
Just
it.
pull
but-
over and say hi.
Yeah, and that's where you start seeing people that, you know, they'll notice, oh, this kid, his basketball hoop's broken, and we'll talk to a church or some of our community groups and maybe try to get them a new basketball hoop. Or they notice, hey, their bike's kind of messed up. Can we check? Sometimes
You're connecting dots for me
Yes.
because I have met some of these community-oriented policing deputies. Because I met one that was, Captain, I'm telling you, this guy was so excited to do what he does because he's like, I don't go to the bad stuff. I go, what do you mean? He goes, my community loves me. I go, I hope they do. Explain further. And he's just like, oh yeah, I fixed some lady's shelf the other day. And I go, wait, you fixed it? And he popped up the back of his Explorer, tools and all that. I go, you did this? He goes, yeah. And then next week I'm going over to this other lady's house that's in my zone, and I'm going to help her fix this up. And I'm just like, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody would expect that the local deputy in their community is there to genuinely just lend a helping hand. There's such a stereotype of it's crime, crime, crime. It's like,
watch out.
oh, clown.
We want safety here, guys.
Yes, we
This
do
is
want
a great
safety.
opportunity
We do
to
want safety. You want to see
discuss being
something
a
cool?
safe driver.
You want to see something cool? We didn't get it on camera, but watch this. Clown count. Boom. So when I run into clowns out here, we call them clowns because I'll get in trouble with anything else, and we have a clown counter. So it can go up to like 5 or 6, and every time I say there's a clown, it pops up.
Yeah.
That guy was a
well, that
clown.
would have been a really good traffic stop.
Not in this.
Not in this car.
My amber and yellow lights don't
we're not
authorize
gonna
me,
do that.
and I've got you currently. So
We're not doing that today.
but you were saying.
So at the end of the day, it doesn't require an elaborate effort, but we always engage our guys to take that opportunity to have one positive engagement a day, and it could be with anyone. Somebody
Now
walking down the street.
that's vocally encouraged?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's also encouraged that when somebody reaches out to you, so I get calls left and right. Whether it's our county commissioners, our community members, like our Pine Hills Community Council,
Right.
they'll call me. They know if they reach out to Captain Ashley Strange that something's going to be changed and something's going to happen. And
Whether it's a response or something, but you're at least going to communicate back
correct.
with them.
And so we do our best to take those and we prioritize them. I have a great team of people that I work with, from my lieutenants, from all of our sergeants and our deputies in patrol, and I also have 2 deputies that I rely on routinely. They're my special projects deputies. So they're the ones that I kind of give these, unique situations to. And I think where we've really gone a step above and beyond is how can we look at these issues from a holistic standpoint. It may not necessarily be a law enforcement problem, but I don't want to just tell someone in our community no. So if I can't fix it, I'm going to at least give you suggestions on, hey, I may not be able to fix this today, but we can contact, this person from code compliance. We can reach out to this other organization. They're really great with helping people with whatever
it's
the
not just
issue
a
may
police
be.
department or shit. You're a resource center.
Right. We're going to provide a solution and results, because people, when they are reaching out to us, they want help. And so our goal is to help you with whatever that may be, and not just tell you, oh, sorry, not today.
Right. No, that makes
And that's
sense.
a big deal.
Because that does happen. Let's be real. You run into somebody, they may not be having the best day as a cop. You don't never know what they just got done seeing.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, my lawnmower broke. Last thing a deputy's going to want to hear after a bad day is about the lawnmower thing.
Right.
But if you're instilling that culture, that could be a highlight to their day. Being
absolutely.
like, oh, thank goodness. Now someone didn't get their bike stolen. They need help with something in their yard.
Yeah.
I can help you, kind of thing. That's got to be
I
really
think
cool.
building those relationships, it's also empowered our deputies to be able to say, well, I was able to help someone do this. And we even try to look at some of our bigger situations. Like you might look at a homelessness issue. Well, okay, can we help provide this person housing? Can we use our community partners to help them with that?
Because you guys are major partners with a lot
Yes.
of the foundations here in Central Florida, whether it's the Samaritan Resource Center, addiction
or
stuff, everything.
We really try to use those resources, and because we really are that first line of defense and that first opportunity to reach out and help somebody.
Right, because it's
So-
not about just helping in time of crisis, it's help in general.
Right.
Gosh, you have put this in such a good way that I hope someone is listening to exactly what you're saying, and it could change possibly how they see a law enforcement officer. Whether they had a good encounter or bad encounter, but just to understand, it's a resource for assistance no matter what you need.
Absolutely.
Gosh, I love that stuff. So what is, because now with FRS, the retirement system, a lot of people would be like, 2 more years, I'm done. You got 18 in, you're a captain, I know you, you're healthy, you're happy, you're a go-getter, you are constantly surrounded by some pretty amazing law enforcement officers. I know a lot of your friends.
No doubt.
Do you have a future that you can see an ending in sight, or you're just doing this now as long as they'll let you wear that uniform?
As long as they'll let me. I mean, I know I have at least those 7 years. I know for sure I'm going to keep working at least until my son graduates high school.
Well, they just extended drop too.
So yes,
so you make
that's
some
always,
extra money.
That's always a great option. So I know I will at least have that time through, where my son graduates high school and kind of see him off into the world. But it's an incredible place to work, and we are hiring.
Yes,
so,
they are hiring.
And
you guys were not hiring when I applied.
We're hiring. You want to join us now?
No, I do not want to join.
You could be a reserve with us. Let's go.
You guys would make me go through so much stuff again, and it's like,
worth it.
It is worth it because you guys have the toys, and then
we do.
I always, because people are like, why would you leave the highway patrol? And I'm being honest. Listen, they don't pay for anything for me, so I'd speak the truth. I would want to join a full service law enforcement agency, and there is nobody around as full service as you guys. Like everything from anything you see on the TVs and movies, they have that kind of stuff.
We do.
To the community service stuff of a arcade trailer, which still blows my mind that you guys have it. But 10 years from now, there's going to be an adult that remembers that encounter at the arcade and is like, those guys are the cool guys.
And that's our hope too in the long run, in having these community engagement parties and efforts, and just having those positive relationships, because we do need those change makers. And a lot of the men and women that we are hiring now, they want to be a part of that change.
So they get the culture change.
They get that, and they want to be a part of that. And I think that's so important moving forward, because we want to have people that you want to have an accountable law enforcement agency.
Yeah.
We don't want to be the bad guys. And we're so blessed in this community that we not only have the support of our community, but our local government. And so
helping a very proactive mayor
that
happened to be the sheriff beforehand.
I mean, obviously this helps, but in a community where they could have taken so many things away, they didn't.
Yeah,
and they've actually invested in us more. So there's this responsibility to do better.
Well, you look other places throughout the country outside the state of Florida, and what's happening here. They're coming to Central Florida.
You're absolutely
because they know not only the team they're going to work with is pretty awesome, but they've got a command staff that backs them, local county commissioners that are super pro law enforcement.
Yes.
Like I could name 2 or 3 without. I don't want to get in trouble because if someone will complain, oh, you mentioned county commissioners, but it's like I talk to them, and they love the sheriff's office. Mm-hmm. And yet I can jump a few counties in other areas.
Almost every day we're talking to them. But it's a team approach and that holistic standpoint. And I think one of the big things, in the evolution of the sheriff's office, we want to be transparent and accountable to our community. So we hold ourselves to a high standard, just as the community should hold us to a high standard.
You guys are pretty transparent.
Yeah.
I'll say it because I talk to a lot of you guys. You guys are fairly transparent. I mean, proactive with information. Mm-hmm. You don't always wait to be at, hey, what's going on out here? Next thing you know, just check your X account. And you guys are putting consistent information amongst all platforms. And I think that's to be praised.
Right. And I think our strategic communications does an incredible job with that. And I think just making sure that we are always staying a step ahead and being honest. When it's bad, and we have to be honest about that. And I think that's really one of the things that helps set us apart. And I think that's an expectation and a part of the give and take in this community. But I think with Pine Hills as well, we are in such a good place for them to help continue jumping forward and moving forward and being a part of those positive changes. And, these people in the community know that they can reach out to me, they can email me, they can call me.
I think that's really cool.
They're going to have changes. And it's not information sharing per se, but it's that idea that they know that, hey, I've had this issue, and they're going to get feedback from that. And I think that's an important part of the trust.
Yeah. Well, the fact that they're proactive.
Yes.
If a community is proactive to the law enforcement agency, it shows that somewhere within the past few years, the law enforcement agency has gained some trust. You guys know I only honk if they sit there for more than 4 seconds, okay?
It was definitely delayed.
Yeah.
I would vouch for that.
And
that was a worthwhile.
Thank you, ma'am. That they've at some point said, okay, they're trying, so I'm going to try.
You're spot on.
And that is noticeable. And I kind of want to end it with more or less, do you think, and I think I already know the answer, do you think now, today's date, time and place that we're at, Pine Hills is on the track to be headed to where they want to be?
Absolutely. And it's going to be amazing to look back in 10 years from now and see how much that growth and change has happened, because the right people in the right places are there to make things happen, and it's exciting to be a part of that.
Awesome. Well, Captain, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to kind of hop in my truck today, talk about Pine Hills. I love driving through there just because a lot of them are News 6 viewers. So
Yeah.
I can't stop at a gas station or pull at a light and people are like, hey, Trooper Steve. And it's really cool knowing that you guys are as aware of what's going on in their community as they are. And
Absolutely.
I think that's very, you want to stay right there? Thank you. That's very, very important, because I get to travel 9 different counties, all these different police departments. And I'm an honest guy, and I think that gets me in trouble sometimes. Not everybody is up to the standard of where policing is going. And whenever I get to hang out with you guys, it seems that you guys are always chasing it. And it's fun to see. So, Captain, again, thank you. Thank you to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Guys, this is part of our WKMG Hits the Road, where we are focusing in different areas of Central Florida. So coming up, I do believe, Thomas, you can correct me if I'm wrong, about 2 weeks we are out from a live show in the Pine Hills area. You can head to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad for all that information. And then, of course, on patrol, you can watch this entire interview. So again, huge shout out to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Mina, thank you. Captain, again, thanks. And you guys got a great team protecting you guys out in the Pine Hills area. So communicate, build that trust so we can have a better tomorrow. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. See you guys.